Hi, my name is Jerry. Welcome to Interesting Colors. This webcast is all about the three green arrows trading strategy. And I learned about this strategy, 7, 8 years ago, I guess. And it was originally taught by InvestTools, and back when InvestTools was responsible for all of the training for TD Ameritrade. And it consists of basically three sub strategies, and the goal was to get a green go from each of the strategies. And when you got done, you had to buy three green arrows. And it turns out the first arrow was associated with the 30-day simple moving average. And in this chart over here, I've got them kind of sort of laid out so that they show the green arrows and the red arrows, if you will, for each of the strategies that's associated with the three green arrows. So one strategy is associated with the simple moving average, one's associated with the MACD, and the other one's associated with the stochastics. And in a nutshell, for the simple moving average, if the price is greater than the moving average, then the moving average gets a green arrow, and if it's less than the moving average, it gets a red arrow. So in our particular case, this top chart is the 30-day simple moving average. It's also up here, but the color coding in the chart is slightly different than the color coding down below for the three green arrows. So I've got a separate little chart down here that kind of sort of shows when we get a green arrow on each of the respective sub-studies. So currently, right now, the price is above the 30-day simple moving average. So we have a green arrow for for arrow one, if you will. The second strategy is for the MACD 817.9. Basically, it's just the 817 moving averages, and the moving average, if the 8-day moving average is greater than the 17-day moving average, then we get a green arrow. And if it's less than the 8-day is less than the 17-day moving average, then we get a red arrow. So here's the area that's associated with the 817 MACD, and as it sits right now, we've got a green arrow for the day, for the last couple of days, it looks like. And the last arrow is associated with the StochasticFull study. 17, 75, 25, 14, 5 are the parameters in the StochasticFull. And it's a little bit more involved than the other two. To get a green arrow, I should say that the stochastics is an oscillator, so its valuation can only go from 0 to 100. Can't get outside of that range. So if the stochastic is over 75, then it's green. Or if the stochastic is between 25 and 75 and it's rising, then it's green. So in this particular case where my cursor's at, you can see it actually started down here probably about the time it just cleared the 25 point and was rising, and it stayed green until it came back and fell back down. Probably right there is a 75 point. But the point is, you get for each of these guys, it's a binary type situation for each of the sub studies. I want to say that I'm not necessarily a fan. I'm not really a fan of binary strategies that say, hey, we got a green light, go for it, and we got a red light, sell it. And in this particular case, the green arrow kind of fits into that category. I would never ever make a trading decision based on just one strategy. I will say in this particular case for the three green arrows, each of the subcategories, each of the sub-strategies is quite distinct and different from the other two. So in the first case, we've got a moving average, 30-day simple moving average, which is different from the MACD, which is takes the difference between two other moving averages. So here the moving averages that it's looking for are 8 and 17. So the first arrow is going to move much slower to make it happen, and the MACD is going to move faster. And if you look at this, you can see it's quite a bit faster. And the third one, the stochastics, is kind of an indication of whether the price is kind of in an overbought zone above 75 or below 25, or an oversold zone. So like I said, each of those studies is quite a bit different from each other, which is significant because they're not you're not just seeing the same thing on the chart, rehashed in a different way. So the last graph on the chart is the actual three green arrow representation, and the reality is we have actually more than that. If you think about it, we've got the situation where all of the buy signals from each of the sub-studies are green, and we end up with three green arrows. We've got a scenario where it's all red. Each of the buy situation for all of the three sub-studies are red, in which case we have three red arrows. And then we have some variant in there where there's a combination of red and green. And from my perspective, I only look and see if it's all green or it's all red. I don't particularly care much if it's not one or the other, because it's in the process of doing something, and what we're really looking for are entry and exit type signals for the stock. So I want to show you what it looks like. This is an interesting chart. So this is the stock market's been in a terrible position for the last couple weeks or so. So if you look at this in this watch list, we're looking at the S&P 100, and this column right here is the three green arrows. So if you look here and we click on Nike, let's pick Nike right here. It shows that we have one green arrow right now, and if you come down here and look at the chart right there in this little box, you can see where it says 1, and we see this little bitty sliver of a 1 here. It's only been around for 1 day, and these the boxes are color coded so that if it had been more than 3 days, it would be a dark green, probably about this color right here. Or in the case of the S&P 100 we're looking at, we have mostly red green arrows. We mostly have red arrows, not green arrows, and some of them have been around for quite a while. So of the 100 stocks in the S&P 100, most of them are red. That's what we're seeing. And the other thing that's of significance is if you look across the watch list, and you'll notice that here's the whole 20, this is the whole crossover, whole 10-20 crossover, and here's the whole 10. typically you will find that when you end up with a strong whole presentation or a bullish whole presentation, the odds of having a 3 green arrow situation go up. They kind of go hand in hand. So you can just look at these top 4 stocks in here and know that they're in pretty strong scenarios. So let's just pick Pepsi and we can look at it. If we zing back over to our 3-month chart, excuse me, our 6-month chart, you can see that Pepsi took a shot up in the last couple days, and then Wells Fargo has done the same, and Nike's done the same, or in the process. It's in the process of breaking out. It's in the process of breaking out. So this is also significant because it's telling me that the strategy, even though the whole moving averages are 10 and 20, they're another set of data points that are different from the 3 green moving averages, and yet they seem to all tie together pretty well. Again, if you have 3 red arrows, you're going to find that you're going to typically end up with whole moving averages that are also going to be reflecting that same characteristic. And ideally, if you're looking for a trade, you're kind of looking for something that shows how these things are related, and hopefully you like to see this, this happen. We happen to find that there was a hold today for United Healthcare, and we see that there's one down here for God, what is this? Capital One, but it's not really setting up yet. This is not really setting up. Anyway, that's the story on the 3 green arrows. I've got a script. I've got a excuse me, not a script, but I've got a link to this chart, the chart that had the 3 green arrows on it. I've got a link to this particular chart. So in the dialogue or the text at the beginning of the webcast, so you can just take a snapshot of that link and load it on your platform, and you can see for yourself how it works. I found it to be a pretty reliable indicator, and especially when you tie it in with other indicators that you're looking at and know something about technical analysis, you're going to find it's another good tool to have in your backpack. Anyway, that's it for this this webcast.